bracing ourselves for this being the deadliest industrial tragedy in modern Washington state history.
Bleak words from Washington State Governor Bob Ferguson as the Longview community continues to mourn the lives lost after a chemical tank imploded earlier this week. And new at noon, our crews spotted the Cowlitz County coroner arriving on scene at the Nippon Dynawave facility. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tim Gordon. 2 people have died from their injuries after that tank imploded. 6 people are still being treated for their injuries. And the 9 people who are missing, 9 people, all of them mill workers, are now presumed dead, according to first responders. Now, there are still a lot of unanswered questions at this hour, including the cause of that implosion. We're told officials are set to hold another press conference at 3:30 this afternoon. In the meantime, Corey Johnson, who's been on the scene all morning long. Corey, you've been seeing some new activity at the facility today.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Tim. We did see the Cowlitz County coroner arrive on scene within just the last hour. And right now, officials have not yet said if they have retrieved any of those 9 victims that we've reported on. And this is the video of the incident site from today. We watched, as I mentioned, a Cowlitz County coroner arrive on scene about 10:30 this morning. And we've also seen the EPA and individuals in fatigues walking around the scene as well. Again, 2 people have died from their injuries. 6 people are still being treated for their injuries from the implosion. And the 9 people who were missing yesterday, all of them mill workers, are now presumed dead, according to first responders. In a briefing yesterday, officials said they're continuing to deal with challenges on site, including a tank that still has caustic liquid inside and waist-deep water in some spots.
Recovery efforts began earlier today, and they'll continue to be slow, methodical, and deliberate. The priority is ensuring responder safety while treating every victim with the greatest dignity, care, and respect as possible.
And officials confirmed that some of the white liquor chemical that was inside the tank leaked into the Columbia, along with a nearby ditch and dike drainage system. And the city of Longview also just sent out an update in just the last hour, letting residents know they confirmed that the city's drinking water is still safe to consume following Tuesday's implosion. Tim?
All right, Corey, thanks very much for your report. And new at noon, we're going to reiterate a little bit. The city of Longview is confirming with residents that the city's drinking water remains safe and says there is no immediate threat to public health. However, crews are keeping a close eye on conditions in the water and also around the plant there. And for people who live nearby or spend time along the Columbia River, there are some new warning signs out this afternoon. Plant officials say the caustic mix known as white liquor spilled into storm drains after the explosion, contaminating local dikes and sloughs connecting to the Columbia River. Officials say the liquid contains sodium hydroxide and sodium sulfide, chemicals used in the paper-making process. They've also recovered about a dozen dead carp from the dikes near the site they believe were killed by the spill. The EPA says responders have been deployed to monitor both waterways and air quality. Officials say testing so far shows no evidence of airborne contamination, but their main concern remains contaminated water in drainage ditches and sloughs near the facility. Crews are now flushing impacted water through the Longview ditch system, diluting it before it's discharged into the Columbia River.
Bears repeating, those results show no evidence of airborne contamination. We will, of course, continue to monitor over the coming days.
Officials have not issued any warnings for the Columbia River itself. However, there have been a lot of questions about exactly what white liquor is and why it's made this incident especially devastating. The tank at the Nippon Dynawave packaging facility holds around 900,000 gallons of white liquor. To give you some perspective, an Olympic-sized swimming pool holds around 660,000 gallons of water. Fire officials believe 25,000 gallons is still in the tank. So what is white liquor? It's a solution made up of sodium sulfide and sodium hydroxide. When heated, it breaks down wood to make craft paper, a durable material used in packaging, shopping bags, and other products. It's around 13 out of 14 on the pH scale, making it highly caustic, and it causes 2nd to 3rd degree burns when it comes in contact with skin. And be sure to stay with KGW for continuing coverage of the aftermath of the Longview tank implosion. We'll continue to have team coverage throughout the afternoon, including that news conference live update scheduled for 3:30. And you can always find the latest anytime at kgw.com or on KGW Plus. All right, we are going to switch gears now and take a live look from the Rose City Sky Camera. A beautiful afternoon across most of the region, but Rod's already tracking some thunderstorms out in Central Oregon. Rod, what do you know about that?
Yeah, if anything, Tim, this action is blowing up even quicker than some of our modeling was indicating. So here we are at 12:05 in the afternoon. Look at all of the rain that's now moving across southern Oregon. Notice it's basically pushing back to the west. We are also getting thunderstorms, lightning strikes detected up around Madras Bend, and even up here we've had some lightning right there just on the corner of Wasco County. And clearly some of this rain has now moved west of the Cascades, and it looks like Eugene is going to start picking up a little bit of this rain, well, any minute now. There you can see it. So far, nothing moving into the Mount Hood area, but that could be changing. A reminder, not only are we expecting thunderstorms to blow up across a good chunk of central, southern, eastern Oregon today, the Cascades, maybe Mount Hood, up into the gorge later today and this evening. But in yellow from the Severe Prediction Center with the Weather Service, we're in this at least possibility range of seeing not only thunderstorms, but severe thunderstorms. I want to go back to this image I just clicked past. That is Sun River Resort right now, the camera in back of their main lodge. And that is a rainy mess over in that area, and an area that could be seeing some thunderstorms. And here's Portland. Tim showed you the Rose City camera looking to the west, which is clear. This is Wells Fargo looking off to the east and down to the south. There's the increasing cloudiness, the blow off of those storms already showing up in our skies. So it looks like we will see increasing cloudiness today, at least coming up from the south. We should still get up to about 80 or so at 4 o'clock, and there is a storm threat here in the valley this evening. We'll talk more about that coming up, Tim, but for a lot of our state, a lot of action in terms of rain and thunder right now, sir.
Certainly so. Thanks, Rod, for that update. And we got some shocking video caught on camera this morning of a fiery crash on southbound I-5 near Terwilliger. You see the problem right there. It happened just before 9 o'clock this morning. Now, Portland police say the driver of a pickup truck slammed into the side of the barrier before that truck burst into flames. Police say passersby did CPR on the driver until paramedics rushed them to the hospital. No word on their condition this afternoon. Well, here's a look at some national headlines today. The U.S. says the ceasefire is holding despite more overnight attacks in the Middle East. Leaders in Kuwait report a missile and drone attack believed to be from Iran, while the U.S. launched attacks in southern Iran. Officials called the strikes defensive. Yesterday, President Trump said Iran has no choice but to make a deal to end the war.
The strait will open immediately, but it's got to be perfect. I'm not going to do this. I didn't do this to get a crummy agreement.
As energy costs rise, polls show the war increasingly unpopular among American voters, but the president insisting political fallout in the midterm elections does not play into his decisions with Iran. The Department of Justice has opened an investigation into E. Jean Carroll. You see the woman right there. In 2023, President Trump was found liable for sexually abusing Carroll in the mid-1990s. Carroll later won an $88 million defamation judgment after Trump continued to deny the allegations. The probe is looking into whether she committed perjury in testimony about her legal fees, with critics calling it the latest in Trump's revenge tour. We're now 2 weeks out from the official start of the World Cup, but fans have complained that tickets are wildly expensive. Now the attorneys general of New York and New Jersey are questioning FIFA for how it came up with those prices. FIFA released tickets in batches, which officials say created fake scarcity. And some fans who bought tickets in more expensive parts of stadiums now say they actually got put in cheap seats. Ticket prices have been on the decline for almost all the games now, even those in Seattle. The World Cup kicks off June 11th.